Well, we've returned to Japan. We flew in yesterday and we're starting to explore the city of Tokyo and its gardens. Because as it's late March, it's also cherry blossom time. It's a green patch of tranquility in the gardens, surrounded by the tall skyscrapers of Tokyo City. It was raining heavily first thing this morning. It's eased off now, but still dripping a bit, so we've come into the greenhouse to admire the botanicals here. Whilst all potted, there's a nice display here of orchids. Well, I think that rain shower has passed over and the sun shines out again. As if. This reminds us of the paper handkerchief tree. But at this time of year, one of the main attractions is very much the cherry blossom, which we're hoping to see in abundance. Already there's a heavy fragrance on the air, although that might be from the stalks in the foreground. But for the Japanese, cherry blossom is a very important time of year, and there are dozens of folk around today, all taking their first images of this year's blossom. They're all into their super posy shots against the backdrop of these beauties. It's also giving the birds the first chance to feed on the nectar. Well, now the sun's out, it's really pleasantly warm, and a nice shot now of both the blossom and the top of the Tokyo Tower peeking out above that. You don't see many dressed like this, but it's all because of the blossom, and there's loads of folk grabbing their pictures. Whilst it's a joy to see that blossom, the word on the street out here is it's several weeks delayed from normal because of the cold, harsh winter that they've experienced so far this year. There's the vague look of a good reflection in the water. Well, this is very traditional Japanese habit, laying out an elaborate picnic underneath a blossom tree. While still a little early season for too much colour, this is the start of a Japanese traditional garden area. Lots of people around today, but that's because it's also Good Friday, public holiday weekend. Or it may just be an ordinary Friday, who knows. But everywhere we look, there's plenty of more traditional fashion on show. Gardens, mature gardens, well laid out gardens like this certainly provide peace and serenity. That's how you would expect. There's a whole load of koi carp here. Just off the bridge we're peering over at the moment. Well, as the afternoon progressed and the sun came out more, so did all the crowds. And any one cherry blossom tree now is absolutely surrounded by folk. It's such a draw. We've come on a tour leaving Tokyo city centre and the hotel we're staying at to come through to basically the Mount Fuji National Park Visitor Centre. Well, if the cloud wasn't there and it was a clear day, I would now be looking towards this revered mountain in Japan, Mount Fuji. Climbing season opens on the 1st of July each year, and it's reckoned it's one of the most climbed mountains in the world. 3,776 metres on this volcanic peak. And moved on up to Hakone, looking down over Lake Ashi. And we're on what they call here the ropeway, which is in fact a double-slung gondola cabin.
Can you get it, Si?
Big volcanic area, lots of fumaroles, sulphur smelling and steam rising. Well, the sulphur seems pretty evident, with the yellow staining on all of the surfaces. And there's a roar coming from down there, which is presumably one of the vents. The warning signs all talk about taking extreme care in the fumarolic area. So here we are, just looking back on the gondola cabins we've recently come up on. We're getting the coach back down from here though. There's a small shrine here. It's really an offering thing. Place some money in the bowl. There seems to be a custom whereby you wash your hands in the water, and it's advisable not to drink it, probably because of the sulphur. And you can make an offering of sweets. The theme around here is black. There are black eggs, there is black bread, and there is black ice cream. That's because if you put the eggs in the sulphur, they turn black. But the ice cream has clearly not come from there. This is the black theme again. This is the black egg. I say the eggs are just ordinary eggs cooked in the sulphur, but locally the suspicion is if you eat the hard-boiled egg from the inside, it extends your life by 7 years. We don't want a dozen each. Well, there's a really lengthy queue to purchase these things, and the guys here can hardly wrap these eggs fast enough in their bags of 4 at a time. And now there's also black curry, which would resemble something vaguely looking like this. Well, amongst the Japanese, not the European market, the black eggs are proving to be very popular. We then returned down to Lake Ashi to board one of 2 pirate ships. I think we're in the one on the right there, to go down to Hakone over Lake Ashi. Well, we soon set sail, as you would say, although there's not a sign of a real sail in sight. The rigging looks decidedly plastic and unable to be unfurled. Well, from Hakone we drove down to Odawara, which is a railway station, and this is the impressive statue outside of Odawara station. Well, we're catching a Shinkansen, one of the bullet trains, to Tokyo at 40 minutes past 4. And then our train that we're catching back to Tokyo arrived. This is for a 30-minute journey, and wait for the doors to line up perfectly in the gap coming up. Here we are. Well, we're actually staying for 3 nights at the Shibuya XL Hotel, and underneath is a Shika, which is a famous dog from some time ago. I'll have to look up the history and folklore associated to it. The observant might just spot Mary sitting down over there. Not easy. Well, we found the famous dog, the bronze statue, and Mary's looking happy alongside it. It's all very busy and frenetic here. It reminds me of certain crossings in London, but Shibuya crossing is allegedly the busiest crossing point in the world. So we've decided to, if you can't beat them, then join them. And we're waiting for the crossing to start again in just a couple of minutes. So the hotel we're staying at is the one in the background there, and we're up on the 13th floor. We'll be up there soon. We've had a wearying day. It's busy, it's frenetic, it's loud. This is Tokyo, I think. Well, we're up in the peace and tranquility of the 13th floor now, looking through a big plate glass window down at the day that's ending and the night that's beginning, and the ants who are crawling around beneath us. Tomorrow we board a ship and hope for a bit more peace and tranquility. Okay, you might not be able to hear it, but it's 6 o'clock.
The dog's come out. Had the bell swinging. You got the bell?
Yeah. And this is looking down on the madness beneath us still. Some of which is another construction site for presumably yet another high-rise building to go up next to the Shibuya Scramble Square Tower. Well, we're doing it all again at night now, seeing all the bright lights and the noise and the hordes and hordes of people. This is one of the sushi conveyor restaurants. Oh, the door's just opened. Help yourself, eat what you want and pay for it later. And here we are, a little bit of sushi heaven. These of course are just replicas of what you really will be eating. Well, after the cruise we were picked up from the port and brought through for a couple of hours only to Akasuka, which is a historic area in central Tokyo, which brings us back into the land of cherry blossom and temples. It's a Saturday and the geisha are out along with the cherry blossom, but it's a major tourist area and this Akasuka temple is immensely popular today, with people dressed in all sorts of traditional gear over this weekend. Five-roof pagoda, it's quite traditional around temples in the background there. So this gives me a good vantage point around into this shrine complex right in the middle of Tokyo again. A load of disciplined school kids again. And then there's this performing monkey show. A short way away from that monkey business, there's slightly more shrines. So much warmer today than where we were on Hokkaido Island last few days, and therefore the cherry blossoms more or less fully out. That's a bit of a museum piece here as well, with these very elaborate carts, well, things they used to carry the ladies around in days gone by. Well, it's a great day for people watching, as long as the Westerners don't get in the way. There's some lucky fishing going on by this little boy, who's traditionally dressed. Well, the whole family's getting involved in this auspicious fortune telling. And the ritual here is very much to make an offering, financial, to bow, clap twice, and to offer a prayer. There's all sorts of rituals and things taking place here today we don't really comprehend or understand, but they're fascinating to watch nonetheless. Inside the shrine there's a roaring trade in people buying good or bad fortunes, and there is a big queue of people here waiting to make an offering. And back out to the five-roof pagoda, and a lovely Buddha set amongst the cherry blossom. Now it's the azalea season, Nice setting here for Buddha. And on sale at this stall is a crab-based product. I'm doing the roaring trade here. Next door to that is a noodle production food stall. Some shrimp's gone on, bit of water. Nice smells. Salt there by the look of it. God, that's a lot of salt. I'll come back later. And then here is a range of octopus products. We're ready for the barbecue.
はい、オーダーある方はこちらでお願いしてます。よろしいでしょうか。何がない？
But overall, this is just an amazing place for dress and people watching. Japanese are big into matcha, and you can buy it in all sorts of different guises: matcha beer, matcha ice cream, and matcha Mont Blanc. And with that completed our tour of Tokyo and that very busy area. And we're now just waiting on the coach to take us through to the airport.